And today I'm going to be talking to you about how to make solid groove style tech house. We're going to be talking not just about how to make like the elements, but actually a little bit more about the arrangement of the track, and particularly focusing on like how to make it build and then drop really nicely and work with this more minimal style. Because the truth is, you know, this style is a lot more simple. You're not going to have that standard like 16th note snare with like a huge riser like you would have in, say, like a more standard style tech house track. So today I'm going to show you still how to build that same level of tension, just with a lot less stuff going on, and more about like doing it in a minimal way with just what you already have, rather than again adding like the big riser and the snare. Now, before we get started, I want to let you guys know today that I am also doing custom tutorials and ghost productions again. As you guys know, I make custom tutorials where basically you give me a reference track and everything that you want to know, and then I make you a private, usually between 30 minutes to an hour long video, breaking it down, as well as making a little track in that style and showing you everything you need to know. Then at the end you get the private video plus the samples, MIDI, presets, and the project file from the track. So it's really useful to learn, and you can kind of learn in deeper stuff that I would never cover on here. But yeah, so link to email me, it's at the top of the description. Really support that. It helps support me and keeps me going so I can keep bringing you guys new videos every single day. I'm also doing ghost productions again, so if you're interested in getting a track or some tracks made by me in any style, send me an email. And yeah, let's dive into the video. Alright, so right off the bat, this is the project file that you just heard in the intro. So we've got everything in here. You can see like I've got like nice fat kick, more like a 909 style kick. There's the only effect on that is just that little high pass filter. As you guys know, it's usually better to just kind of leave your kick clean and just have like a really solid, hard hitting 909 or something like this with the bass line. You know, nice, groovy, simple, deep, but powerful bass line. You know, it's not just sub, there's also some like punch and kind of mid-range in there. But it's just got that nice, low, deep groove with the kick. And you'll notice it's really simple too. It's only 2 notes here. And that's just this operator patch where it's some sine waves. You can see the second one and the third one are a bit plucky, so that's what's kind of giving it that punch. And then we just have it going through a little bit of drum bus. It's being side chained to the kick. And then there's another high pass on that. We have like our clap and snare. And you'll notice those don't come until it drops also. Like we could have had those in here. But leaving this part, the build really open, like not having like you could just have like this, right? Like in theory you could have like the kick and the claps. A lot of tech house tracks, I think they would do that. But again, with this simpler style, it's really about letting it be really open here. So it's better to just let those hi-hats groove and then save the boom for when this actually hits. And the way this is being made is it's actually a layer where we have the clap and the snare right there. And the thing is, you might think like when you hear this it's just a clap, but actually having that snare underneath, and I'll even turn it up a bit, it's going to be really important to get the proper level of punch with this. If I turn that off, you can see it doesn't hit as hard. Then we have all this percussion here, which is, you know, pretty standard. I've shown you guys this style of percussion on the channel before. You can see like our main hi-hat here. So we've just got like this one. The shaker. So you put those together and you get this like very punchy and full sounding thing. But then we also add in this. Just like a short 909 style hi-hat. You can see I've shortened it. And one thing you'll notice is that doesn't come in, that third layer doesn't come in the break here, right? We're just getting the, and you're still hearing that, and you still have that on the upbeats. Where it's gonna be that same groove, of course, but then it makes it so that when it drops, it's so much more impactful to all of a sudden have that constantly happening. So that's a good way to do it. And again, that just goes to having 3 layers and then just saving one of them for the actual drop there. We have shaker loop, which is being layered with the shaker. And you'll notice that we did the same thing there, right? You only get that one so that it's not too full. So then when you come here, you get... it's really making this part into a new groove. And really all that has to do, or all you have to do that, is it's just understanding, leaving some things out in the break, but keeping enough stuff to where you have the groove. And you can see that, with this percussion underneath all that, that's what pretty much all this stuff is. It's just I'll play that with the main hi-hat, you can hear. Just all the little different background percussions. We have some operator percussion in there too. Just some white noise with a bandpass filter and an LFO moving it around. And then some nice live percussion as well, to kind of bring in a more organic element. And then you'll notice with that stuff, it's really sparse in the break, right? We really just have the bongos here. And then I brought in a little bit of it here. But it's very different if we go from this to this. And that's the idea behind this stuff. When you make your track, you're gonna start with this, right? You start with the main, everything. And then when it comes time to actually arrange it and give it the structure, then you just go and copy some of the stuff over into here. And essentially, it makes it so that this part, where all this stuff comes in, is going to explode, because it's so much more stuff than you heard in this part. Versus if you have it all happening in this break here, and then it also just drops into that, it's going to be kind of boring. You have to kind of build it up and just sort of slowly get the listener essentially ready for everything that they're going to hear when this drops. And then on the group of percussion here, so you'll notice that there's no group processing in terms of compression or saturation or anything like that. We're just using this group here to make these wash out, and it's 2 different things happening. So it's this echo and then this reverb, and they're both automating up in a similar way, right? It's just over the course of this whole break. They're both just fading up. But then it's just letting that happen. And then also you can see I have the feedback being automated on the delay. And then it all goes down there again, right, as everything cuts out. And then when we get here, it's back to no delay, no reverb. And it just smacks really hard. And so this is a nice way to make these disappear. And it's something that I think is really important if you're going to be making this more minimal style of house, which is essentially using the elements that you already have here to create your build-up, rather than adding, like I was saying at the beginning, having, okay, it's time to do the build-up, so let's get the 16th note snare, and then adding a riser on top of that, and then having another vocal riser. We don't need all that, because we can just take the elements that are already in here and use some cool automation with some effects that are very standard and create something that sounds really cool, right? This is almost more impactful to me. More impactful than, say, just doing the 16th note snare. So, it's a pretty simple thing to do. Also, obviously, every DAW is going to have an echo and a reverb, and then it's just automating them and sort of making it build. So then after that, we have just these vocals down here, which... these are just some nice vocals that I've dropped into here. These pretty much played through the whole thing, right? In the break, we're kind of showcasing those. Hey, check out these cool vocals. Same thing with this little flute melody, too. Yeah, there's nothing else playing there besides the drums. So like these are sort of like the main like interesting things that you're hearing there. And these are really dry too, right? Like you can see there's no effects on them individually. And then we just have this really short reverb on them. And then by the time you get to here, you're still hearing them, but now it's over top of the main groove, so it's very powerful. Another thing you'll notice is that these are very rhythmic, right? Like, this one comes in perfectly on the end of 2 there. It's like, yeah! So, it's kind of like in here, you don't even notice that as much. But then once you get here, and there's like the full drums happening, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, there it is. And the flute melody, pretty much same thing. That's just going through a bit of echo, and then I've chopped it here. And then the last thing we have down here are going to be the sweep and this riser. Now, these are my own. These are from my definitive build-ups pack. I'll show you. Which I'll put the link to this in the top of the description as well. So these are just, I made these like kits with like a bunch of different things for build-ups. And then I've just taken them, these two. So even though I'm saying like you're not going to have too much in the way of risers and big like building effects and stuff like that, you still want something. Just a little bit, just enough to kind of move it. And what this riser here does and this little sweep is exactly that. You can hear like it just kind of subtly comes in there, kind of fades out of it, and then this one just right on the one there, and then this is just going through a bit of auto pan to make it bounce up, a bit of reverb, and this one's just got some reverb. But yeah, you can still have these, and you want to have these at least a little bit. Like, I wouldn't make a track completely without them, but like, just not so much of it. Like, just like 1 or 2 like this. And when it lands, you don't want a big, like, long, dropping white noise. You just want this little, like that. Like, you can even make it a bit shorter. You could even just do like a... Right, just something like very subtle like that, but just something to like make that drop there. And yeah, so that was going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. Like I said in the beginning, you can get this full project file, samples, MIDI, presets, everything, the automation, literally everything that you're seeing here is available right at the top of the description for just $5. This really helps support me. If you guys enjoyed these videos, definitely go grab that because you get a super solid project file. Plus, it's going to help keep me going, and you can follow along with the video and learn a lot and take your production to the next level. Like I said in the beginning, also, I'm currently doing ghost productions and custom tutorials again, so if you're interested in either of those, just send me some information about what you're looking for to my email, which is right at the top of the description, and I'll get back to you shortly. I look forward to speaking to you guys. Thank you for all the support, and I will see you tomorrow with another video.